Good morning, I'm WINDEELYN 27 years old. I worked in private school for 2 years and I'm currently working in Anao Elementary School, a public school, as a grade 2 teacher for more than 5 years now. Anao Elementary School is situated in Mexico, Pampanga, and it is one of the biggest and oldest school in Mexico West District Division of Pampanga. It was in 1924 where the first class was organized in this school. Presently, this school maintains more than 600 population with 21 teachers and 4 master teachers headed by a principal too. So my study is entitled Development and Evaluation of ICT-based Strategic Games for Grade 2 Mathematics. So my study focused on the development of an ICT-based strategic game to support students and master the most essential learning competencies or MELCs for the first quarter of grade 2 mathematics. So why did I came after this study? So according to Slater 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced many sectors to evaluate their approaches towards doing business. The education sector is severely affected by the recent continuous lockdowns. As COVID-19 cases continue to surge among Asian countries, many schools have shifted from face-to-face learning to flexible learning. Both agencies, the TED and the Department of Education, also called for all stakeholders to explore innovative ideas to support and transition towards learning in the new normal. Moreover, the education sector is now focusing on teaching only the most essential learning competencies or MELCs for the school year 2020-2021. It is also believed that the use of technology nowadays is very important to support the students' learning since most K-12 students from public schools learn at their own home through different modalities. So why is mathematics in primary education is important? It is because mathematics is one of the core subjects taught in K-12 curricula in the Philippines, according to official Gazette of the Philippines. Mathematics in primary grades are the most important years of one's childhood. It is believed that children's knowledge of math these years predict their math achievement for later years and throughout their school career. Learning the numbers and number sense must have a basic understanding on number system, relationship among numbers and different operations. At the same time, they are expected to implement different strategies to compute and estimate, SEI, DOST, and MATHED 2011. Furthermore, kinder to grade 3 must be taught these skills using purposeful play and manipulative activities, focused informal discussion and sensible repetition, drill and practice, and a reasonable amount of memorization. So why did I use digital games? So according to Afari 2012, he further emphasized that games can be a useful toolkit for teachers to improve their pedagogical practices towards mathematical education. Games used for educational purposes have a positive effects on teaching process and student achievement through Good and Fermor 2017. The use of game-based learning or the GBL in mathematics can improve pupils' attitudes towards teaching and learning, Bantus 2008. Teachers of primary students can use math educational games as an alternative for their teaching and learning process. Artono, Condramata, Ajet Moko, and Yolanda 2016. So this study was designed according to some recommendation of the existing study mentioned in this study. Localization of learning objects is a key to improve teaching and learning of mathematics, according to Deng Gian and Zilin 2009. One thing to consider is that the use of information based on the surrounding environment of the students can help them better understand the contextualized mathematical concepts. Reyes, Insorio, Ingreso, Hilario, and Gutierrez 2019. The use of MTB in teaching mathematics among primary students. Alienav et al. 2018 showed in their study that the use of MTB MLE for learning mathematics proved to be beneficial. This study adopted the theory of Brunner 1966 as cited by McLeod 2019 on instructional scaffolding, which stated that students learn and perform through appropriate guidance and learning resources which will fit their needs, level of maturity such as manipulative and other material to be used in playing a game. According to the US educational theory, as cited by Neal, learning through real-life application is the best way to understand complex concepts, particularly on activities where they will have first-hand experience. The paradigm of this study shows that in developing the ICT-based strategic games was consists of three parts: the input, which includes the development process of the games, based on the first quarter topic of DepEd MELTs for grade 2 mathematics. Furthermore, the study adopted the Agile software development life cycle. The procedure, which comprises evaluating the initially developed mobile game in terms of its technical aspect and its content. And the output was the completed ICT-based strategic games for grade 2 mathematics. The researcher developed a localized ICT-based mobile application for the first quarter of grade 2 mathematics. Specifically, the researcher sought to answer the following. First, how may the ICT-based strategic games be developed? Two, how may the developed ICT-based strategic games material be evaluated by the ICT expert, mathematics supervisor, mathematics coordinator, master teacher, and teachers. The study employed quantitative descriptive research as its research design. The evaluators were the three experts in the field of ICT. Subject experts consist of one mathematics supervisor, one mathematics coordinator, one master teacher, three mathematics teachers in the division of Pampanga. For the research instrument, two questionnaires were used to achieve the objectives of the study. First is the DepEd Technical Evaluation Guidelines and Checklist from Learning Resource Management and Development System, or the LRMDS, for ICT experts. The second one is the DepEd Evaluation and Review Questionnaire for the development of a new non-print material for subject experts. For the procedure of the development, this study adapted the Agile methodology as a software development approach for the mobile game application. The development of the application followed several phases: the plan phase, design phase, and the launch phase. And the K-12 grade 2 mathematics learners material for the first quarter lessons was also used. For the evaluation, the subject experts and the ICT experts reviewed and evaluated the developed application using the questionnaires from DepEd. Mean and mode were used as the statistical treatment to analyze the result of the study. A 4-point Likert scale, a 4-point Likert scale, 4 as a very satisfactory to 1 as not satisfactory, was used for rating by the subject expert. Average mean then was used to analyze the result, while mode was used to analyze the result of the evaluation of the three ICT experts of the usability characteristics of the developed application, the rating of yes, no, and not applicable. For the results and discussion, for SOP1, how may the ICT-based strategic games be developed? So, Table 1 identified topics for number and number sense. During the development of the application, the study was able to identify 9 scopes that tackles numbers and number sense in the first quarter of mathematics in grade 2. The scope in Table 1 were aligned with the 2020 MELTS plan of DepEd. Table 2 content shows the content quality evaluation results. Table 2 shows that content quality used in the application were rated as very satisfactory. Overall mean 3.923 by evaluators. in the initial and final evaluation. Among the 10 sub-factors in Factor A, the content was considered up-to-date, logically developed, and organized, free from cultural, gender, racial, or ethnic bias. Stimulates, promotes critical thinking, was relevant to real-life situations, and the language was appropriate to the target user level. It was worth mentioning that in terms of content quality, it has scored an average of 39.33 points. The minimum score set by the DepEd to pass this factor was at least 30 points. The results only show that the content quality used in the application was consistent and adheres to the DepEd requirements. Table 3 shows in terms of instructional quality, the application scored an average of 39.33 points. Based on the DepEd, this factor also needs minimum of 30 points to pass. As seen in Table 3, the instructional quality was rated as very satisfactory, with overall mean 3.93 by the evaluators for both initial and final evaluation. All evaluators agreed that the instructional quality of the application was very satisfactory, particularly on the appropriateness of the difficulty, use of appropriate graphics, colors, and sounds, use of correct materials, employed feedback mechanism, user control, integration of game instruction. These were consistent with the broad 2012 mention in this study that the appropriateness of the games was an important aspect to consider before using them for teaching. Table 4 shows the technical quality. As seen in Table 4, the evaluators rated the application as very satisfactory with the mean 3.79. The initial evaluation and the rating improved, mean 3.82 in the final evaluation. This improvement is attributed to the compliance suggested by the subject experts, particularly on synchronization of visual and sounds and reducing technical errors. The application is scored a 49.67 among sub-factors. DepEd set the minimum score needed in the criterion is 39 points. For table number 5, Table 5 illustrates that all evaluators agreed that the application does not contain any conceptual, factual, grammatical, typographical, and other errors. DepEd specifically mentioned that the application must receive perfect score of 16 points in this factor. Since the initial evaluation overall mean rating was 3.75, which is equivalent for 15 points. The researcher thoroughly complied with all the initial comments and suggestions made by evaluators before subjecting it to the final evaluation. After reflecting the necessary corrections and modification in the application, it has successfully gained a total score of 16 points, the factor D, in the final evaluation. Finally, since the application have passed all the criterion set by the DepEd, all evaluators recommended the possible use of application in public school. Table 6 shows that all ICT experts agreed that the application contains high-quality media elements and provide concise instruction on how to use it. The ICT experts also agreed that the design were coherent and user-friendly. Table 7 shows that in terms of overall interface, the ICT experts agreed that the design used in application were consistent and visually appealing. The ICT experts further agreed that the application was user-friendly in terms of providing direct navigation and instructions on what to do next. Next, Table 8 shows that the ICT experts also agreed that the application contains all elements under the behavior of controls and system information aspect. ICT experts agreed that visual indicators were present within the game. Icon and objects were in place and worked as intended. Table 9 shows that the application was only capable in terms of providing straightforward instruction. The ICT experts also agreed the application can be used repeatedly at the user space without any error. Adjustment of font size and font family was not present and was not applicable. The application does not have capability to use mouse and keyboard as it was intended for mobile phone. For Table 10 shows that the ICT experts all agreed that the data entry within the application was present. The user were informed about the acceptable data entries in the application. The user can also control the length of the game, drop down and drop key were not present and not applicable in the application. Table 11 shows that all ICT experts agreed that hyperlinks were not applicable in the development of the application. For the conclusion of this study, the inputs from the subject experts during the initial evaluation were important. All comments and feedback provided by the subject experts helped the researcher in making the game comply with the MELS and DepEd guidelines. Results showed from the second evaluation of the subject experts and developed ICT-based strategic game passed the requirements specified by the DepEd for non-print material. At the same time, ICT experts evaluated and developed applications and have passed all the applicable criteria for usability characteristics. Innovative ways to help to support students' learning, including mastering their much-needed skills, were highly relevant, particularly during the time at which students learn on their own at their own home. The development of the technologies such as the ICT-based strategic games developed in the study must undergo rigorous testing and must submit to a series of evaluations provided by the DepEd to ensure its applicability and appropriateness for educational use. Therefore, planning and enough time were also necessary in development of the mobile application. For the recommendation, the application be revised to be made available across platforms. Adjustment of the font size and changing of the font family be made available in the future version of the application. The availability of the application to desktop-based OS will also solve customization requirements of the DepEd, such as magnification, computer keyboard, and mouse port. Future works may also include the use of different computer objects to the games, availability of resources that reside inside the application or from the internet, and the integration of voice-over as instructing agent to aid students navigate and use the application may be explored by the future researchers. The study also recommends that the application be made to be adaptive by incorporating new and emerging technologies to effectively deliver the objectives of MathNotes to its intended user and to provide personalized feedback and support. Lastly, the addition of new games based on other quarter or grade levels based on the mathematics MELS are also worth pursuing. So here are my references for this study, and thank you and God bless.